So, Samsung's Galaxy S25 Ultra is finally releasing on January 22nd, and you might be tempted to grab this shiny flagship. But before you swipe your card and drop a fortune on it, let me save you some regret, because this phone might not be all it's cracked up to be. Sure, Samsung markets it as the ultimate smartphone, but let's peel back the layers and talk about what they're not telling you. Spoiler alert, you might want to think twice before buying the S25 Ultra. Let's start with the design. Samsung decided to make the S25 Ultra flatter and rounder at the corners. Sounds nice, right? Well, not really. The flat edges are supposed to make it feel better in hand, but for many people, it's more of a downgrade. The boxy charm of the previous models had its own appeal, even if it dug into your hand slightly. Now it's just ordinary. It feels like Samsung is playing it safe instead of pushing boundaries. And those thicker camera rings? If you've seen the Galaxy Z Fold 6, you'll know this design isn't exactly groundbreaking. Samsung has simply borrowed a page from its foldable lineup and applied it here. It's not bad, but it's not a game changer either. For a flagship series that sets trends, this feels more like playing it safe. Speaking of cameras, let's dive into what's supposed to be the Ultra's star feature. Yes, we're getting a 200-megapixel primary sensor and a new 50-megapixel ultra-wide camera, but don't let the numbers fool you. For the average user, the difference in quality compared to the S24 Ultra is barely noticeable. And sure, Samsung upgraded the image signal processor, but does it make a night and day difference? Not really. Now, let's talk displays. Samsung has long been the king of screens, and the S24 Ultra had one of the best displays in the game. The S25 Ultra sticks to the same formula, a 6.8-inch Quad HD Plus AMOLED display with a peak brightness of 2600 nits. Sounds impressive, but here's the thing, it's not really a step up from last year. The so-called more durable Gorilla Armor 2 is a nice touch, but how often are you really going to notice that in daily use? It's hard to justify spending more money when the core experience hasn't improved significantly. Performance-wise, we've got the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, which is essentially an overclocked version of Qualcomm's flagship chip. Sure, it's powerful. And then there's the RAM and storage situation. Yes, the base model now starts with 12 GB of RAM, which is nice, but let's not forget that the competition has been offering similar or better configurations for a while. Plus, the 128 GB base storage on the standard S25 feels outdated for a flagship device. If you're shelling out this much money, you shouldn't have to worry about running out of space. Let's not ignore the battery. On paper, the 5000 mAh battery, which is same as of last year, with the new chipset should give you better efficiency and longer life. But in reality, the improvement is marginal. Wireless charging gets a bump with Qi 2 support, allowing for MagSafe-like accessories. That's cool, but again, not groundbreaking. These are incremental updates, nothing that screams you need this phone now. So, with all that said, what about the price? The S25 Ultra's starting price remains the same as last year's, and that's not a good thing. Sure, you're paying for the Samsung name and the ecosystem, but is it worth it? For many, the answer is no. To be fair, it's not all bad. The S25 Ultra does bring some noteworthy updates. The ultra-wide camera upgrade is a welcome change, and the improved image signal processor promises better results in tricky lighting conditions. The move to a more refined, flat-sided design will appeal to some users, and the inclusion of Qi 2 wireless charging is a nice touch. The embedded S Pen continues to be a unique selling point, making the Ultra stand out in a crowded market. But here's the thing, none of these updates are game changers. None of them justify the premium you're paying for this phone. The S25 Ultra feels more like an iterative upgrade than a revolutionary leap. And when you're dropping this much cash, you should expect something that feels truly next-gen. Instead, you're getting a phone that's playing it safe, sticking to what worked last year without taking any bold risks. So, should you buy the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra? If you're already rocking the S24 Ultra or even the S23 Ultra, the answer is probably no. The improvements are too minor to make the upgrade worthwhile. At the end of the day, the S25 Ultra is a good phone, but at this price, good just isn't good enough. If you think I dislike Samsung, that's not true at all. I genuinely admire the brand and even use a Samsung phone myself. However, when I look at the features of the Galaxy S25 Ultra, I can't help but feel disappointed. The changes seem so minimal, and it feels like the phone exists just to stick to the yearly release schedule. It's as if the innovation has taken a back seat, leaving us with a device that doesn't truly justify the hype or price tag.